Babies, what's up? How are we? No excuse, man. I don't know. I haven't been recording. No excuse at all. But the past 2 weeks have been a complete shift in my mentality, specifically when it comes to the work that I'm doing. So overall, not really the worst of times or bad times in general. It's just I love you guys. Whatever. I'll find the words to express how I feel maybe going over the past. So today's video is life is a reflection and we are a refraction. Note how we are is what life reflects upon, and a fragment of the universe. How we are is what life reflects upon. Alright, so like there are definitely three parts to this. One is very much related to how I perceive our existence and the energy that comes out of us, which is a fragment of the universe. Because that's basically the opening where we're connected to the source, right? But put that on the side. Life is a reflection. We are a refraction. And the idea behind this is because refraction is how you basically see a fish on water, right? Because if you're looking at from an angle at water, you kind of see the fish, but it's not direct. Because if that's water and this is where the fish is, you'll probably see it like this. How light refracts things. Let me read it so I can give you the technical term. And then from there we can actually like dive a bit deeper into like how refraction actually expresses itself through life. Because here I'm saying we are a refraction, right? So refraction is the bending of light or other waves as it passes from one medium to another, caused by a change in speed. This phenomenon is responsible for effects like the bending of straw in water and the formation of rainbows. Epic. So life is a reflection because whatever you give out into the world, it is directly reflected into you. I think that alone is beautiful. We are a refraction. That means anytime we look at ourselves, we're not really seeing the truth. Because when we're looking at ourselves, we're not we're not looking from the eyes of life. Exactly. All right. So like because like if you're looking at life truthfully, then it's this reflection happens in a just like if light hits the water directly, like you directly see the fish. It doesn't kind of like create an angle because it's perpendicular. So full honesty is when you're looking at life properly and everything is reflected properly and you're seeing that honest truth of a reflection, then ultimately that's what you get. You kind of like see it for what it is. You see the truth. If you're able to see the truth, then you're able to see yourself through life without refractions, without you being refracted. Because normally we're looking at ourselves with expectations. We're looking at ourselves with assumptions, with judgments, with opinions. We're not truly just looking at ourselves. And what ends up happening is basically like we're looking at a refracted version of ourselves, not the truth. We're looking at an awkward position because like the bending of light means whatever you're seeing here, for example, is kind of like a bit to the left. And that probably also like affects how you see yourself because how you see yourself is what translates into the world and ultimately gives you a different reflection. Because like if you're looking at what's reflected to be true, then you notice it's some what if you're looking at the truth of what's being reflected, then you're gonna notice that you're that person that's causing that reflection. But most of the time we kind of don't see that, and that causes a refraction, and that refraction creates a different reality that creates different confusion, which allows us to kind of like not see the reflection, see the reflection even more kind of like I don't want to I wouldn't mind using the word polluted, but the idea is kind of like I said this a while back. I was like, the sun paints the truth in its own light, whilst the moon sheds light on the truth. There's a big difference. So in a way, that's basically us. Our perception is kind of like creating that, like our perception or our refusal of the truth is allowing our perception to be skewed. Skewed is a good word because like a refraction is basically creating an angle. Is is yeah, creating an angle from where light hits one surface to another. And that's practically where you so then I write a note, man. And the note is how we are is what life reflects upon. And reflects is not really the action, right? Because going back to the Taoist quote, as a goose flies on top of the water, the goose doesn't intend to cast its reflection on the water, and the water doesn't intend to reflect to save the goose's reflection. Because as the goose actually keeps flying, the reflection moves with it. So the water doesn't care to actually keep that in storage. It just does its thing and it reflects. And the goose just does its thing and it projects. And so how we are is what life reflects upon. So that's funny because you're kind of giving life its own unique identity. And I feel that's necessary. I strongly feel we should do that. We should like because I keep saying we're not playing the game of life. We're playing a game with life. And to play a game with life is genuinely you finding different ways to interact and to kind of like pick your success points, pick your battles, and all that stuff. These are naturally, if you're looking at them as challenges, that something is challenging you, and there's a one-to-one, right? If you're looking at them as battles, then something is like standing in your way. And if you're looking at it in a game, it's all of them are the same things, right? It's just kind of like in extremes of why we do them. So how we are is what life reflects upon, which is kind of like pointing at the fact that life, it's like Carl Jung said that, it's like as you look into the darkness looks into you. But is there such a thing as darkness? Because darkness is kind of like the absence of light. So instead of taking it from that metaphorical perspective, why not take it from like, whatever you see in life is basically kind of like what life is gonna like get back to you. And the whole like life is actually looking at you because if you're playing a game with life, then life's playing a game with you. And what you're doing effectively is kind of like you're showing your cards, you're exploring your potential, you're exposing yourself. And then afterwards, if you reveal who you are, how you are, then life will play accordingly. If you reveal to be an asshole, then life will play with you as if you're an asshole. If you reveal to be a cheater, life will play with you as if you're a cheater. If you reveal that you are, there's nice and there's kind. Niceness is has a lot more naivety in it. Kindness has a lot more intention behind it and empathy. So if you reveal niceness, then basically you life's gonna look at you from that perspective. From like if I'm playing with a nice person, maybe they can't handle challenges. Or maybe they're going to basically maybe their naivety is going to destroy them differently. if our wishes were to come true, every once in a while, if you're playing with somebody, for example, okay, so like if you're playing a one-on-one game of basketball or whatever game you're playing, or a chess, like every once in a while, somebody who's really good, who's patient with you, will kind of like destroy you, right? Like if you're playing with somebody who's really good and they're watching you learn and they're watching you adapt, every once in a while they kind of show you how, like a different level. And then you're like, what the fuck, man? Because you kind of see that you see yourself getting better, and then suddenly you see yourself completely destroyed. And it's also the same with life. Because you're kind of looking at the ultimate form of wisdom, is the consistent over the past millions of years, the evolution, the uniqueness, the centered evolution. That's basically life. We are the extension of life. And it's kind of like the game of consciousness playing with itself. So it only makes sense every once in a while if you're not keeping up with the challenges that you're choosing because you're the one who's deciding on the game to play, effectively life's gonna come and like strong arm you. Then you're gonna be like, oof, that's not a game I want to play, or shit, I need to get my shit together. Right? Life is a reflection and we are a refraction. How we are is what life reflects upon. Yeah, most of Musashi said that. Like, think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. I think I'll end with this. I love you guys.